Well, I'm just gonna try this way for the rest of the night until I can figure out what the heck is going on. You guys, with the first time I tried StreamYard, I had no trouble whatsoever. I don't know why I had trouble the other day on the laptop and then today on the personal computer. But anyway, I want to end on a higher note and not just call it a night. I will probably call it's terrifying thing is I was actually having a pretty deep conversation with you guys before um, you couldn't hear me. So I was responding to a lot of, oh, here we go. Teddy Stan says, hey, you made it. Yes, I did. We'll see who else has enough persistence to come back and see us. Um, I was actually, Sean Innes is here, says, hey, Sean, you missed all the Michigots. Indy Spouts is like, found you. Web is here, says, hey, Thrash. My Flock says, hi, everyone. Yeah, there was, Lance is like, hey, Thrash. Catastrophic system failure on the StreamYard. I don't know why. The first time I tried StreamYard, it worked like a charm. You guys were with me. There was no problems whatsoever. Yesterday when I tried it on my laptop, I froze, and tonight it froze again. The weird thing is I would bounce out, I would come back in, and it still wasn't letting me in. So I had to actually just wrap that one up. The weirdest part is, um, I could see myself broadcasting into the chat. You guys just couldn't see me. So I'm talking to you, I'm answering your questions, I'm bringing your banners up, and that's why I finally went into the chat myself, and I'm glad I did because I thought people were just I'm like, you guys can see me okay, right? And I just figured people just weren't responding, but apparently you couldn't. Sean says, I don't think I got an alert earlier. Sorry, man, but I'm glad you made it. Keithy says, I told you were over here, they thought you were on Tinder. Pablo says, can see and hear you. Awesome, awesome. Gary Carpenter's here. Pablo says, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I certainly can. My Flux says, hello, sweet chance. Gary Carpenter says he keeps buffering again. I don't know how I don't know what's going on as far as that goes. I'm very sorry. Sean Innes says, must be cold on Cape Cod. Thrash keeps freezing. It's not too bad. It's 40 degrees now. Not too bad. Jenny's given us a link. Thank you. Teb says, I can see and hear you. Awesome, awesome. Len says, Sarah, we need to do a stream soon. Um, Oh, Banjo Sandwich is here. It says happy birthday. I'll pass that on to Mrs. Thresh. Thank you so much, Banjo Sandwich. And if you tried to get onto my earlier StreamYard, for some reason, I was up and going on StreamYard and then it went dead. And even though I tried multiple times to log back in and I could broadcast, it wasn't going out to these guys. So people thought I just abandoned them. Very sorry. Das Gibb is like, Thrash. Scott, so good to see you. And Danny's saying hello. Well, I don't know what was going on with the StreamYard. It the first time I did it. I mean, you guys who were there for the first one to test, it worked like a charm. I don't know why yesterday's on the laptop and then tonight's on the personal computer crashed so desperately, but for some reason YouTube seems to work. So maybe we're going to be dropping the cable and switching a high speed internet access. When I have better internet access, that actually might solve a lot of these problems. Um, and Len says, nice alien talk today on Tug Stream. It certainly was. And Pablo says, thanks for the link to Danny. Indy Spout says, there are a few technical problems in life that can't be resolved with a liberal application that a liberal application of a hammer. I know, but it feels good, doesn't it? My Flux says, Lance, I know I'm going to do her tomorrow. I'll email you soon. Awesome, awesome. Daryl says, Bob, WTF. Daryl, I swear to God, I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming back, but I don't know why the StreamYard keeps crashing. But other brother, I'm so glad you can hear. David's here. He says, hey. BK on the air is here. He says, hey, Big T. So good to see you. Yes, and it really was supposed to be StreamYard. I don't know what's going on. My life. It's my life. And Gary Carpenter says to DJ, watch your language. What's wrong with the word Bob? And Danny's giving links left and right. He is our secret link. Emily Miller's here, says, hey, y'all. She says, hey, y'all. Tug says, I made it. Trust me, you're right on time. Guess what? We had technical problems tonight. And just kind of like Eric. And Dave says, Thrash on, come on down. Your the next contestant on The Price is Right. The Price is Wrong. Awesome, awesome. And oh my God, it's almost 8 o'clock. So you know what? Teb, this one's for you. How, pardon me. How about we go right into our trivia? And tonight's trivia is going to be on the early days of Fox Network television. Oh, one thing. Daryl John says, it's all good, Bob. Not a big deal as long as everyone hit the like button, what he says. Gary Carpenter says he keeps on buffering. Sorry about the buffering, pal. Teb says, did the passing of the Children's Television Act and the rise of cable networks like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and the Disney Channel play a huge role in the decline and demise of Saturday morning cartoons? It certainly did. It certainly did. But you know what really, really, really killed them? Video games. Kids just couldn't wait to like start playing that Atari in morning. When I was like, by the time I was like 12, 13 years old, most kids had already given up the TV because you eat your cereal, watch a couple cartoons, and then it's like break out the Atari 2600. My Flock is giving us a link. Super, super. Danny says, that's how you can tell me and Pons are brothers, technology haters, us. Number one dude is here. Says, great to see you, Thrash Panda. So great to see you too, number one dude. Glad you could make it. Christopher says, my dad's birthday is February 12th. Is your restaurant going to be open, Bob? I want to buy my dad dinner. I don't know if we're going to be opening just at that time yet. Oh, Danny says seasonal buffering. Christopher, I'll let you know. I can send you an email, but at the moment, I'm not entirely sure. Keithy says hit the like button here on the failed broadcast. Hey, that's two like buttons. Pablo says buffering. I was more of an Anderson man myself. Love it. I love every time I hear buffering, I think of bufferin. A lot of people dropping links. Awesome. Thank you. David says, no, video killed the radio star. It certainly did. It certainly did. And as most people are just having fellowship and chatting amongst each other, I'm going to go right into the trivia. And again, it's all about the early days of Fox Network Television. Pablo says, does Bob own a seafood restaurant? Not a seafood, and I don't own it. I am an employee at an Italian restaurant here in Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Oh, and John Orchard. Johnny's here. He says, congratulations and happy birthday to Mrs. Thrash Pondo. Very, very, very kind of you. Oh, Pablo just smashed a like. Very, very kind of you, John, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I just haven't had a chance to call in the recent. It's been Mrs. Thrash's birthday, so I've been like, that's kind of been taking up my time this weekend. But anyway, on to question one. Well, you know what I mean. The first question, question 10. The longest running TV series in U.S. history, The Simpsons, credits its start to this short lived Fox comedy variety series. Is it A, Comic Strip Live, B, The Tracy Ullman Show, C, The Edge, or D, Random Acts of Variety? And I shall repeat. And yes, Daryl, please hit the like button. Longest running TV series in U.S. history, The Simpsons, credits its start to this short lived Fox comedy variety series. Was it A, The Comic Strip Live, B, The Tracy Ullman Show, C, The Edge, or D, Random Acts of Variety? And I see answers pouring in, but I'll give you guys another minute or two. Oh, Mandy's here, says Tracy. Mandy, so great to see you, by the way. Welcome to the very technical problem opened show for this evening. So glad you could make it, my lady. And let's just see. A lot of people saying hi to Mandy. And Mandy, did you get that question? Well, 10. The first question was the longest running TV series in U.S. history, The Simpsons, credits its start to this short lived Fox comedy variety series. And the selections are A, Comic Strip Live, B, Tracy Ullman, C, The Edge, or D, Random Acts of Variety. And thank you for the link, Sarah. And Emily says up to three more, Sarah. And I think I'm going to call it at this stage. And the answer, of course, the Tracy Ullman Show. Question 9. This short lived nostalgia series, based on an S.C. Hinton film, by my tongue novel, aired in 1990. Was it A, The Outsiders, B, That Was Then, This Is Now, C, Rumblefish, and D, Tex? And I shall repeat. This short lived nostalgia series, based on an S.C. Hinton novel, aired in 1990. Was it A, The Outsiders, B, That Was Then, This Is Now, C, Rumblefish, or D, Tex? And India, you say I'm buffering too. I saw a glitch or two actually in my own system. I'm maybe the weather is playing a part in this. Maybe the fact that everybody on the planet is watching football is wreaking havoc with the internet service. I don't know. But Mindy says no idea. David says the outdoors. You can almost guess if you know one S.C. Hinton novel, and that's not a hint. I'm just making conversation. If you know one S.C. Hinton novel, and Indy Spout says the hammer work, DJ. And Dusk Gibbs said you aren't buffering with me. Good, good, good. And Emily says the answers are all over the place. Yeah, they are. They are. I even had somebody put text. I saw. And Danny's giving another link. Thank you. Shannon says, Thrash drop the outsiders in the choices. Yeah, A was the outsiders. The choices are A, the outsiders, B, That Was Then, This Is Now, C, Rumblefish, or D, Tex. And Lynn says, Thrash tried earlier on Sunday before the games. Well, after they're pretty soon, it will be a non issue. And Indy says, Are we still on question 2? Yes. I haven't given the answer yet. But you know what? On that note, I shall. A, The Outsiders. The Outsiders was the answer there. John says, when I use StreamYard. Well, I tried to, but it didn't quite work. Next question 8. Which of these TV pilots was not launched as an episode of Married with Children? Was it A, Psycho Dad, B, Top of the Heap, C, Radio Free Tremaine, or D, Enemies? And I shall repeat. Which of these TV pilots was not launched as an episode of Married with Children? A, Psycho Dad, B, Top of the Heap, C, Radio Free Tremaine, or D, Enemies? Tug says, yeah, numbers are from 10 to 1. Yeah, I start with 10 and work my way down to 1. But I always say, Indy Spouts is completely froze again. I'm so sorry. Um, I don't know why I'm having so many troubles tonight. I really don't. I want to applaud you guys for your patience. Um, but wow, a lot of people are saying C. Perhaps I framed the question incorrectly, but I'm going to. Oh, and now I'm getting these weird pop-up things. Hold tight, folks. Here we are. Lance says you're looking good to me. Oh, Lance, you always look good to me. Thank you. It might be regional. It might be regional. We don't know. We don't know. Teb, I see. Anyspot says something about married with children. I think wish me luck, Polkai. I will read the question one more time. Hopefully you get the full question this time. Which of these TV pilots was not launched as an episode of Married with Children? Was it A, Psycho Dad, B, Top of the Heap, C, Radio Free Tremaine, or D, Enemies? And you know what? I'm just going to go with it and give the right answer. It was A. There actually never was a Psycho Dad. They actually talked about it. Making Psycho Dad into a pilot was actually pitched at Fox at one point, but they never did it. But Top of the Heap, Enemies, and Radio Free Tremaine were all going to be part of Fox's Sunday night lineup. Radio Free Tremaine actually would have starred the actor who played Mr. Rhodes. Oh, his name eludes me for the moment. It was going to be about Bud's experiences in college, and Mr. Rhodes was the dean who got his job through nefarious reasons. And a running thread were going to be these two guys who ran a underground radio station, and it was not a particularly interesting idea. But yeah, it was actually Psycho Dad was never created as a pilot. Thank you, number one, to David Garrison. David Garrison. Yes, that was the name of the actor. Moving on now to a guy from Happy Days. Moving on now to number seven. Open House, a short-lived Fox dramedy, was actually a reconceptualization of this failing Fox TV series. Was it A, Second Chance, B, Karen's Song, C, Duet, or D, Down and Out in Beverly Hills? I shall repeat. Open House, a short lived dramedy, was actually a reconceptualization of this failing Fox TV series. Was it? Oh, Big Guys 45 is here. Hey, big guys, how you doing? A, Second Chance, B, Karen's Song, C, Duet, or D, Down and Out in Beverly Hills? Oh, by the way, Big Guys 45s, love the songs you've been putting out on your YouTube channel. Thank you. And I go on TikTok. I just don't have TikTok at this time. I have no trouble with the stations I do have. Oh, Big Guy says can't stay long. Batteries are almost dead. Sorry, LOL. More than understand. Thank you so much for joining us. And Emily says, "See, I don't know." And Keith says, "Where was I in the '90s?" Oh, and Denny, thank you so much for the um, link. And Gary Cameron says, David, you remember on Happy Days as Arnold's the jukebox always had songs everyone listened to. I certainly do. And anyway, the correct answer was C, duet. Um, number six, and then after number six, we'll get scores. This Fox Young comedy series was an unofficial, shameless ripoff of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Was it A, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, B, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, C, The Marshall Chronicles, or D, The Adventures of Beans Baxter? And I shall repeat. This Fox Young comedy series was an unofficial, shameless ripoff of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Was it A, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, B, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, C, The Marshall Chronicles, or D, The Adventures of Beans Baxters? And most of you got this one, I see. And number one news is synchronized swatches. John, I almost felt bad. I go, a lot of people are going to guess Ferris Bueller's Day Off because it seems the obvious choice. But Brogu's here. Says hello, everyone. Hi, Thrash. Just stopping by to say hi. Enjoy your stream, Brogu. Thank you so much for coming by. Stay as long as you like. Yeah, we're about to do the second half of the trivia game if you'd like. But thank you. Paul Bell says it's Detroit's year. They are gonna score at the half. And he Spout says, didn't hear the question, but I'm suspecting it's Parker Lewis. Oh, the question was this Fox Young People series was a shameless ripoff of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And you know what? On that note, I'm gonna give the answer. Yes, it was Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Can we see some scores? And Ismail says, oop, I didn't hear the question. And yet you somehow guessed the right answer. Indy, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you always have the right answer. Okay, Tracy is 3 of 2. That's a cute trick. Emily is 3 of 5. Christopher says I got one right so far. Number one dude says 4 correct thus far. Lance says with Corin Nemec. Daryl is 2 of 5. Sean is 3 for 5. Gary is 4 for 5. Tab is 5 for 5. Tug is 4 for 5. Tracy is 3 of 5. Laugh out loud. That makes a little more sense. Brogo, Highlands, Emily, Daryl, Gary, and Tug. Duskip is 2 of 5. Mandy is I'm stumped. Indy Spout says I have gotten all 4 that I have heard. I actually think this may be more sporting. Fair enough. David says, who was Jefferson Darcy on Married with Children? He was also in Happy Days. Oh, I was wondering why. I was racking my brains. I was like, was David Garrison in Happy Days? No, no, but you're right. The guy who played Jefferson Darcy. He was in Happy Days. He was also in The Love Boat. In fact, they made a joke about that where he accidentally one time he's talking to Alan, gets his name wrong, and calls him at one point Captain and at one point Fonzie. That was a big joke, actually, how he would always show up when when a series was just about to be canceled, and he would basically milk it to the end. But Married with Children had more seasons with him than with David Garrison, and Emily says he was pretty. But anyway, moving forward, I'm going to pick up now with number 5. Okay, this Voices in the Head comedy was intended as a Sam Kinison breakthrough into TV. Was it A, Herman's Head, B, Unhappily Ever After, C, Charlie Hoover, or D, Andy Richter Controls the Universe? I should repeat because I think I missed a word in there. This Voices in the Head comedy was intended as a Sam Kinison breakthrough into TV. That's it, yes. Was it A, Herman's Head, B, Unhappily Ever After, C, Charlie Hoover, or D, Andy Richter Controls the Universe? John Bernstein is here and he says Herman's Head. A lot of people are saying Herman's Head. What people don't seem to realize is there were a lot of shows about people listening to the voices in their head around this time. Oh, Sean says lots of lag. Yeah, you know what, guys? I think when I'm done with this trivia, I think we need to just call it a night. We need to just cut our losses and we'll just we'll try again some other time. And I want to thank all of you for your perseverance. Trust me, it's not through lack of effort on my part or I don't know what's going wrong, but I want to thank you guys so much for your patience. And Emily says she's not getting any lag. This is weird. It's kind of all over the place. Some people are getting lag, some people aren't. But sometimes I even look at my own reflection. If you know something, I'm going like, it's because sometimes even I see myself as glitchy on this end. And he says, I appear to be about 5 seconds behind you, Thrash. It won't let me advance the time forward, but I am getting the questions. Yay. Good. Oh, and he says, stay warm. Thank you very much. My vlog says, great show, Pawns. Thank you. It's a train wreck. So thank you so much there for saying that. I feel so much better. Daryl says, don't worry about it, Bob. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you. I can't tell you how much you guys mean to me. Podblood says, you always have my support. You guys are just making me feel so much better. Thank you. And Scott says, no lag. Dave says, it happens. Oh my God. Where were you people when I was growing up? I could have used all the support then. And Daryl says, not a big deal. And Sean says, I'm seeing answers come in before you ask the question. That's crazy. I don't know how that's possible. We're in a time. That's it. We're in a time loop. Where's Doctor Who when you need him? Mandy says, feed is fine here. Great show. Oh, thank you. Len says, it's okay, Thrash. We will try it next Sunday. We certainly will. We certainly will. And we'll keep our fingers crossed. And Joe John says, shake it off. Hey, speaking of Kansas City, I'm just going to shake it off, shake it off. And thank you very much for the link, Danny. And Emily says, ooh, a Taylor Swift reference. It was so fun at the restaurant tonight. I would just said, yeah, right before the game started, everybody said, oh, look, the Taylor Swift concert is about to start. And Sarah says, giggle, Pawns, have you seen my stuff? LOL. Wreck not yet, LOL. Oh, Stephen Laffin is here. He says, hola. And hola to you too, by the way. You're right in time for the last part of the trivia game. And all the disasters I've been having tonight. Indy's Bud says, I actually prefer your version, Bob. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Denny says, sometimes you need to leave the stream and come back to catch up. And yeah, I tried that. Didn't work for me though. And oh, David says, let's watch the VTV show. Hey, I'm all over it. I'm over it. But anyway, let's just see. Oh, just get rid of this pop up. There we are. And Keithy says, if you were in a lag, you would need to go out and come back in. Ah, yes. There we go. Oh, Dominic Dezia says, hey, Bob. Hey, everyone. Hello to you too, by the way. And Pablo says, my pal thought Reba was the halftime special show performer in 2 weeks. Nope, Usher. Oh, and a lot of people saying hello to Dominic D. As well they should. But anyway, I'm going to move forward now. Oh, I never gave the answer to question 5. It was actually Charlie Hoover. Yes, Herman's Head was a show where the voices talk in his head. But actually, all of these were shows where the main character listened to the voices in his head. And the one that actually starred Sam Kinison was Charlie Hoover. He played this little guy who was sort of like the little voice, who's the little guy who stood on Charlie Hoover's shoulder and tried to give him advice. Oh, Steve says, good news. I am finally monetized again after 9 months. We've been pulling for you. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, Dave says, Thrash Panda was a singer at the Super Bowl. Moving forward, question 4. Tracy Ullman's series was inspired by this person. I'm sorry, I'll come in again. The Tracy Ullman series was inspired by this person who recommended she try to break into American television. Was it A, her mom, B, her husband, C, a BBC exec, or D, Paul McCartney? I'll come in again. The Tracy Ullman series was inspired by this person recommending she tried to break into American television. A, Herman's Head, B, A, Herman's Head. It's her mom, but it looked like Herman when I went to read it again. I need better glasses, and also I got poor lighting. But anyway, I'll try this again. A, her mom. B, her husband. C, a BBC exec. Or D, Paul McCartney. I love the fact that people are guessing D. Indy Spout says Carol Burnett. That was not one of the choices. Although I think Carol Burnett did inspire her as an entertainer. But there was a specific person who said, Tracy, dear, blah, 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 you got to go to America and get into American television. They have much lower standards and the money's better. And it's true. There's much better money, at least at the time, there was much better money in American TV, and we really had much lower standards than the British. And, oop, I see a couple of right answers. Dave says her dog. No, that was the son of Sam. Ooh. Oh, come on. You guys were all thinking it. And Doug said the voice is in her head, probably. Speaking of the son of Sam. Boy, this show got dark. Didn't. And his mouth says, her mom. Oh, no, that was your guess. I thought you were like, yeah, her mom goes to college. Dave says her dinosaur. Okay, I'm going to try to. This is getting surreal. Keithy says Benny Hill. It was actually her husband. Her husband, who actually sadly he died a few years ago, but apparently he was really big in British television, and he recommended that she try to get involved in American television and make a pile of bucks, and she did. She did know Paul McCartney. They, of course, were in her music video. They don't know about us. Paul McCartney was. I think Paul McCartney was actually a friend of theirs, which is why I did it. But okay, Steve says copyright. They. Oh my God! They actually timed Chance out the other night for a copyright ding, and he was showing 20 seconds of Gene Rayburn. I'm like, really? Really? Pablo says they are throttling down Thrash Bondo Pawns. Oh, if I get a copyright strike for going da 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 da, I'm going to be just despondent. Emily says Yakety Sax was the music for Benny Hill. Yes, that's why I was doing it, because somebody mentioned Benny Hill. Oh, speaking of Gene Rayburn, I'm sure you guys have heard the story. He actually had a summer home here on Cape Cod when I was a kid. My grandmother bumped into him in the CVS once and chatted for a minute or two. And she, for the till the day she died, she told the story as if they were in the war together. She like Gene Rayburn was her friend. They would chat, yada yada. I'm like, you bumped into him like once in a pharmacy. I'm just gonna skim down. Okay, he says, I only liked Benny Hill on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Love it, love it. And he says, I'm excited and came back in, and the feed seems much better. Good, good. That's awesome. And Doug says those copyright bots are merciless. They certainly are. They don't even respect public domain. Yeah, I know. And oh, Bobby Renee is here. Says hi, host of most. Bobby Renee, so glad you could make it. So glad you're here. Hope you're having a great weekend. And John Collins says, Bob, discussing about the previous football game and Taylor Swift, I have an opinion. All those other football players have beautiful girlfriends, and some are famous. We don't see them every play. Good point. Good point. And that's not fair. Andy Spout says, was the last answer her husband? Yes. Yes, it was. It was her husband who was involved in British entertainment. Um, they did know Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney was in her video for They Don't Know. And WD says he said on Match Game that he owned a roller skating rink on Cape Cod. There were a back at that time, there were a bunch of roller rinks on Cape Cod. He may have actually owned one. I'm not sure which one it was, but there were actually a couple in my hometown. He may have owned one, but I know he did have a summer home on Cape Cod. Gary says copyright my aunt Fanny. Emily says, but thanks to the Swifties, more people are turning into the games. Mrs. Thrash was telling me because so many like teenage girls are into Taylor Swift, they're actually asking their fathers to take them to games. They're watching games with their fathers. It's becoming a father-daughter thing, and I find that totes adorbs. John says that means Eminem and Taylor Swift will be at the Super Bowl. Eminem is dating um, someone in the NFL. Uh, Jenna says, host with the most who warm as toast. Thank you. A toast to toast. I love toast. John says it might be rip the space time continuum if they are both in the same place. Yeah, I can certainly see how that would happen. Alan Eastman says the only thing I know about roller skates is that they mix poorly with buffalo herds. They would, wouldn't they? They really would. Moving forward, question 3. How many criminals were supposedly brought to justice by the TV series America's Most Wanted? Was it 500 or less? Was it B, between 500 and 1,000? Was it C, 1,000 to 1,500? Or D, over 1,500? Len says, in my I'm okay, Chan, still trying to build up my DVDs. Tracy O'Duskim says, oh, I'm way behind here. Hang on. Dominic D says, I hope Detroit wins the Super Bowl. They were way ahead against the 49ers right now. Scott says, I will point out that Travis Kelsey just broke Jerry Rice's post game catch record, especially as a tie. That was pretty amazing running against them, mind you, but it's very notable. Tracy says, there goes my crush on Rick Sutchkeful of the Cubs back in the day with my dad at Wrigley. Oh, I'm sorry. And Emily says, but you can't do anything if you have a mind to indie. Oh, I'm sorry. You can do anything if you have a mind to indie. Yes, you can. Was that old song? You can do anything you put your mind to it. But oh, anyway, I shall repeat the question. How many criminals were supposedly brought to justice by America's Most Wanted? Was it A, 500 or less, B, 500 to 1,000, C, 1,000 to 1,500, or D, over 1,500? Bob Renee says, don't copy me. I wouldn't dream of it. I'm very sorry. Emily says, what was the question again? How many criminals were supposedly brought to justice by America's Most Wanted? And I was gonna say you could take a wild guess. The answers are all over the place, but I do see some of the right answers. And he says, I don't know, 500 to 1,000. Shannon says Kelsey went 11 for 11 heard. A lot of people are guessing D. Actually, the correct answer is C, from 1,000 to 1,500. The correct answer is it's just about 1,200. It was like 1,187, but just about 1,200. WD says, how many years was America's Most Wanted on the air? It's hard to say because it was on, then it left, then it came back, then it left again, and then it was on again briefly. There's a new incarnation coming on, and he has his son, his other son. He's going to be doing it with him. But C, 1,000 to 1,500. Question 2: which of these Fox TV series aired first? A, Married with Children. B, 21 Jump Street. C, Werewolf. Or D, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. I shall repeat. Which of these Fox TV series aired first? A, Married with Children. B, 21 Jump Street. C, Werewolf. Or D, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. And my voice is going on top of everything else. You ever have one of those live streams? Boy, answers are all over the place on this one. Pablo says now America's Most Wanted host Walsh pitches bogus energy pills on TV ads. Jonah says that sounds very wrong. 1,000 to 1.5K. According to my source, it was again just about 1,200. Das Gibbs says I loved Werewolf. I never actually saw it. I remember it, but I never saw it. Doug said he would just be a talking head. I'm ashamed of myself. Don't worry. And his mouth says, wait, didn't Werewolf and 21 Jump Street start the same week? Possibly. Possible. Ooh, Paul Bless with another one. Max Headroom. Lance Jenkins says, bye, guys. See you on Wednesday for Dave's stream. Take care, everyone. Lance, thank you so much for your patience and perseverance. It was great working with you today. Take care of yourself. Oh, Dominic D says, I remember Chuck Connors was on Werewolf. Again, I didn't get a chance to see it, but take your word. And he says, I think it's 21 Jump Street, actually. Actually, no, the correct answer is A, Married with Children. At least according to the Fox source that I found, it said Married with Children aired first. I'm sure the others were right behind. We're all going back to 1987. But according to my source, it was Married with Children. And the number one question I have, War Buff, I had to use this one. This classic war flick was adapted into a short-lived series on Fox. Was it A, The Big Red One, B, Kelly's Heroes, C, Hell in the Pacific, or D, The Dirty Dozen? I shall repeat. This classic war flick was adapted into a short-lived TV series on Fox. A, The Big Red One, B, Kelly's Heroes, C, Hell in the Pacific, or D, The Dirty Dozen? And then after you give your answer, after I give the answer, after you give your answer, and then we'll get scores. Dave says red, white, and blue one. Thank you for the link, Sarah. Mike's still there. Oh, Mike, when did you get here? Mike says this is one of those movies that just as famous for its great soundtrack. Yeah, Hobgoblins is usually shown as a double bill with The Harder They Come. I did not know that. I remember Hobgoblins. I didn't remember that factoid. And Christopher says one year they took America's Most Wanted off the air and replaced it with Married with Children. Huh. Good to know. I did not know that. Pablo says great topic. TV bloopers. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Those are a lot of fun. Anywho, the correct answer is, of course, The Dirty Dozen. Technically, I believe it was adapted from a made-for-TV movie sequel To the degree it doesn't, but it counts as the same franchise. So, and let's get some scores here. Tracy is 7 for 10. Davis just eats Skittles. Mike Silva says, "Sorry, I was late. No worries. Good to see you at any time." Dave says, "Taste the rainbow." Number one dude is 80%. Scott is 2 for 10. Well, thank you for participating again. Like, who remembers TV from that long ago? Daryl Johnson was 3 for 10. Dave got 5. Mike Silva says keeps buffering. I'm having one of those nights, Mike. I'm so sorry. And he says I feel like you were violated your nerd oath by not having a question about Alien Nation. I missed too. You know what? You are so right. But remember, it was the early days. The early days. In fact, I was kind of cheating, just putting the one on from 1990. Bobby says penalty for lying. Emily Miller says, I'm just going to say 5 of 10. Tug was 5 for 10. Thank you for the link, Sarah. Dust Gibbs says participation award. Seriously, like I said, I've actually, much as I like getting answers right, I sometimes just getting trash in a trivia game is fun because yeah, that's how you learn new stuff. Tab is 9 for 10. Pablo says my Friday show is about Superwoman, the film and TV trivia. Oh, awesome, awesome. Oh, and prizes. Excellent, excellent. Shauna, this is boo 4 for 10. Oh, I'm sorry. John is 3 for 10. And a lot of people saying good night, and I'm still buffering. Yeah, guys, it has been one technical disaster. Ow, after another tonight. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your perseverance, but I think we should pretty much pull the plug now. Quit while we're behind. We'll try again. In fact, I'm even going to try StreamYard again, and hopefully we won't have this kind of mishigots. I'm sure there's a way because when I went back into StreamYard, it kept giving me the option to enter the chat, and I could actually see myself broadcasting. I just couldn't get it so that you guys could see it. There might be another new way. Perhaps I needed to hit add to stage again or something. I don't know. But anyway, I will work on it. I promise you, when you will get there eventually. That I definitely promise you. And again, I want to thank all you guys for showing up tonight. It was my absolute pleasure. And until next time, be good, be safe, be careful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.